And I tried to put in 1 week, I tried to put in like 4 wrinkles. We were playing this really good team that was 5-0. I said, oh, we can do this. We can get them. And he said, no, Tiger, 1 wrinkle. I'm allowing you 1 wrinkle this week. I said, hey, I'm the head coach. He said, I don't care. And he said, 1. And he said, if you put in 3 or 4 wrinkles every week for 10 weeks, at the end of the year, you got 30 new wrinkles that, number 1, you didn't coach well. Number 2, you didn't practice it long enough. Number 3, the kids didn't do it in youth football through middle school, through 9th grade, through JV, through varsity. Most likely you put in the wrinkle just for the varsity team. And that hit me. And I'm like, at the end of the year, you got 30 new wrinkles that you're not very good at. So I always remember that. I limit my size. We usually don't put in any wrinkles, but if we have a big game and a big opponent, we might put in 1 wrinkle that week. So that's important. Don't put in too many plays. That's a mistake I think many coaches make. We haven't had double sessions in 11 years. We go 1 practice, 8 to 11, come home to eat lunch, get off their feet. And we want them strong in October, November, even December. We don't need to kill them in August. It's a long season. So we're off the field. One time we're on the field for 3 hours. And that's the high school team. We run 5 plays. We run 5: power, dive, cross, counter, jet. 5 plays. And we put in 1 per day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We don't put in 15 the first day of practice. Put in 1 play a day. And after the first week, you'll have 5 plays in. And pick 5 that you think you can be good at, that you think your kids can become great at, and that complement each other a little bit. That's the key. These are the 5 that I pick that I think complement each other, and they all go together. So this is what we do. And our youth kids do it, our middle school kids do it, our 9th grade team does it, our JV team does it. And so when they we don't have a playbook. They can't play Friday night if they don't know how to run these 5 plays. And I don't need to hand them a playbook to figure that out. Here's my biggie for the youth coaches out there. Don't go on 2. Don't try to go on 2. Here's my story. My college roommate lives in Pittsburgh. His kid, 3rd grader, heavy-set kid playing youth football. Coach tries to go on 2. Down set, go. Somebody jumps. He makes them run. They're on a football field with a track. He makes them run around the track. 400 yards. It's a heavy-set kid in 3rd grade. My buddy calls me on the phone. The kids get back. The coach says, we're going to do this until we get it right. On 2. And the quarterback goes down, set, go. And somebody jumps on the first go. And the coach says, 400, get on the track, another lap. My buddy calls me. He's watching practice. And he goes, my kid's in last place. He's running his second 400. I want to kill this coach. He goes, I want to get down here and punch this guy in the face. My kid is never going to want to go back to practice. So I'm on the phone with them, and we don't go on 2. I shouldn't tell anybody in our league, but we don't go on 2. We don't have 2 at the high school level. We do not go on bozos that I coach is going to jump, and I don't want to lose 5 yards. So we don't even have it. We don't go on 2. So that would be one thing that I would tell my youth coaches. Don't try to get too tricky. And then I wouldn't go over 90 minutes. When school starts, we go 3 to 5, and that's plenty for the high school kid. I would not go over 90 minutes. And here's a little breakdown of a practice schedule that you could do, whatever. I sometimes go to youth practices when I see my kids playing, I stop up, and they run offense the whole time. 2 hours of team offense, and the kids they don't want to be there. You need to mix it up. So here's you can write this down. You don't have to, but 15 minutes to do some push-ups, some sit-ups, some plyos, some stretching, high knees, butt kicks, power skips, all that stuff, karaoke, back pedal, a couple sprints, then stretch out and do some push-ups and sit-ups. 15 minutes, you get a little workout in. Then we have this fun game, and the kids love it. We have a snapper and a punter. You can get 2 or 3 snappers, 2 or 3 punters, just for fun. And you have 2 lines on either side of the snapper and the punter. So you got 4 kids that run down, and you have 2 kids back returning, and they just switch. And everybody gets a chance to catch a punt and return it for a touchdown. You got the whole field. You got 4 kids covering the punt. But the 4 kids can't leave till the punter punts it. But you develop a snapper, you develop your punters. The 4 kids running down have to sprint down, break down, know where they're at, know where their three buddies are, and try to stop this guy from returning a punt for a touchdown. And every kid they just switch, and they go from one line and then they go back, and it takes 5 or 6 minutes, and every kid gets to try to take a punt back for a touchdown. They love it. They love our punt game that we do. And if someone returns a punt for a touchdown, they get a candy bar at the end of practice. We have some little mini hurdles. We have you can make it jumping jacks. Just 5 things to get these kids going. 1 minute. It takes 5 minutes to get through the 4 or 5 stations, and it's a little strength conditioning. You can do body squats. We do body squats, jumping, mini hurdles, and bag drills for 1 minute. They switch around. And then do a little individual. Quarterbacks can go with the center, take some snaps, throw it, run some plays. Running backs, O-line, hit the sled. 15 minutes of individual, 15 or 20. And then this is our big one. This is what we do every day at the varsity level. We call it the scrim drill. And I just call it that because that's what it started out, and now it's turned into, it's our everything drill. It's our blocking, it's our tackling, it's our everything. And it's low contact. They break down. The quarterback takes the ball, and he'll throw it straight to the side where the wide receiver will kind of turn and catch it, and their defensive back that'll come up, break down, and try to tackle him. And you put cones about 7 yards apart, and he's got to catch it, stay within the cones, and make a move. You're not running 2 guys to each other trying to tackle. The defender's coming up and breaks down, and this guy catches it, turns, he can make a move and try to score. And I'll go through this in a minute. Then you got 25 minutes for team offense, team defense, and then play a game. Sometimes we just send them to the park to get on the swing set. You can play tag. You can play fast football, take the shoulder pads and helmet off, and play like, it's like, what do they call that? Frisbee game with the football. We call it fast football, but it's like ultimate Frisbee with the football. Or you can play wiffle ball, take a bat and a ball and say, we're playing wiffle ball today. But have a 10-minute game to end practice. Make sure they end practice with a smile. All right, here's the blocking, tackling drills. We do one-on-one screen drill. I'll throw it out. The guy will catch it, corner will come up, break down, and have to make a tackle. Then we'll go 2-on-2. I'll go like twins out there. I'll be the quarterback. I'll throw it to – they kind of line up in the eye. So I'll throw it to the bad guy. There's 2 defenders and 2 wide receivers. And the front wide receiver can block whoever he wants. And we widen the cones to about 12 yards. And so I throw it to the one wideout who's got to catch it. He is not starting with the whole head of steam. He's catching the ball before he runs. He's starting 0 miles an hour. The 2 defenders come up, and they have to work as a team to stay on either side of the ball carrier. The blocking wide receiver can block whoever he wants. It goes quick. We just get 2-on-2 and just do it real fast. And then we add another guy. We have 2 guys on the line, 1 receiver behind him, 3 defenders, like 7 yards off the ball. And I throw it, the 3 guys come up, the 2 guys block, and the 1 guy tries to score. And the kids love it. We do it 4 days a week. There's a one-on-one tackling drill that I like where the 2 guys get on either side of a line. You got all these lines on the field. Get on either side of the line, and I blow my whistle once, and the guy with the ball starts running, and it's a mirror drill. And the second whistle, I blow it, then he tries to score. He tries to run by the guy and score. So the first whistle, he just starts juking, and on the second whistle, he tries to go. The defender has to bend his knees and get down like a basketball player, shuffle with them on either side of the line. On the second whistle, they're 1 yard apart. There's no collision, and then he tries to tackle. And then good, low. These are all low impact blocking and tackling drills. And then treat every kid like he's your only son. Like you got one son, every kid in the team, make him be safe. Don't have a 200-pound kid go up against a 90-pound kid. Never. Whenever I see that in the line, I don't even throw the ball. No, this isn't happening. Because if it was your kid was a 90-pound kid, you would not want that kid to be going up against that 200-pound kid. So you can make practice safe by just being aware. We have a youth camp in July. Our varsity team, our 9th grade team, coaches the 1st and 2nd graders. That's this picture. My son was in 2nd grade being coached by the freshmen. The 10th graders coach the 3-4. My juniors coach the 5 division, and my seniors coach the 7-8 division. I make the high school kids wear their jerseys. The little guys go shirts and skins. I make like 20 fields. We get basically first grade through 12th grade in our community up at the rec park, playing 4-on-4, 5-on-5, 6-on-6 for 4 nights. And the little kids will always remember the high school kids that coached them, and then they can go to the game on a Friday night and root for. Number 12, that coached me, and I think it's really cool. I just give out coolers and coolers of candy bars, and the kids even sometimes sneak in and steal them. And my 2 daughters like to run the coolers, and they sneak them. They'll eat like candy bars during one of these camp nights. We don't have many rules, but I just want our kids to graduate and say, man, that was a lot of fun. That's it. That was my whole thing. Have fun. If a kid graduated and said I wish I wouldn't have done it, it would just break my heart. It'd be heartbreaking. Anyways, these are our rules. Be on time, work as hard as you can, be humble, be kind, and treat others well. And the big one is be humble. I mean, we got kids that, rush for 1,900 yards, and they're the nicest kids in the world. If there's a little bit of arrogance on our team, I shut that down right now. He doesn't play the next game. I don't deal with any arrogance at all. But thank you for listening. I can take some questions if anybody has any.
Thank you very much, Tiger. Thank you. We have had a couple questions come through. The first question is, do you give your kids an off-season plans when they're in high school, or do you give them a break since they play multiple sports?
Well, we're such a small school that we want every kid to play multiple sports. We have to share, at Kirtland, we have to share our athletes with track and baseball and basketball and wrestling. So I encourage them to play another sport. Our kids are awesome. Even the basketball players, the wrestlers, they still get their lift in. If they practice basketball 3 to 5, they lift from 5 to 6 after basketball before they go home. Our kids, especially if they want to play varsity, since we have 70 guys, they know that if they're going to play, if they're going to start, they have to get their lift in. And our kids, the culture the last 10 years has been awesome. They go to basketball practice, they get a snack, and they lift weights before they go home. So it's, they don't have to do it. They want to do it. That's the difference. They lift Saturdays and Sundays. They lift 7 days a week, and it's not mandatory. They do it. The seniors teach the young kids what it takes. And then 4 years later, those kids are seniors and they just do it. Like I know today, the weight room was open at 10. It's open again at 2:30 for kids at work. And my son, over the coronavirus thing, I sent a daily workout 7 days a week, and my son for 3 months didn't miss a day. I mean, you're home all day for 24 hours. You better get your workout in. But they want to do it, and they want to do it for their teammates, and because they're unselfish, and because they want to be successful, and they've learned from the great leaders we've had before them.
Awesome. Now we have a couple questions regarding parents. The first question was, when you have a parent complain about playing time, how do you handle that?
Well, I can tell you that I have those. We've had lots of those, and this is just my thing because, I get it. It's their kid, and they're concerned about their kid. And like, to me, I think one of my best attributes is I understand. I can look at a kid's eyes and know what he's thinking. I can kind of see, like, this kid, he wants to play more. And I try to get kids in as much as I can, but I do understand. And sometimes when the parents, I'm always honest with them. I always say, listen, our coaching staff thinks that if you're this, let's say it's a defensive end. These are our 2 best defensive end. This is the next guy that's rotating in. Your son's this one. He's the 4th DN. So the first 3 are going to get all the reps on a Friday night. He's going to play special teams, and that's just the way we see it. But I always invite them to come to practice. I say, come to practice Tuesday. And I don't know that other coaches would do this, but I do it. I say, come to practice Tuesday, and I'll show you why he's not in there. And I can show the drill. I'll put up a one-on-one screen drill, and I'll put the kid up there and against my best tailback and my best tight end that blocks in the screen drill, and he's never going to make the tackle. And I'll say, listen, this is why he's not playing, because these are varsity guys that he'd be playing on a Friday night. So I invite them up, and no one has ever come to practice. But I do. I say, hey, come to practice Tuesday, and I'll show you, why he's not playing more. And they never come out.
Makes sense. Great point. Question: Do you practice offense and defense in one day?
Yes. We have an offensive. As soon as we're done stretching and we do the punt game, we have an offensive competition period. It's 10 plays every day. We can start competing as soon as we're done with the warm-up stretch and the punt game. We go right into this. We call it advantage, because that was my name for it, because when I was in high school, we would run 10 offensive plays twice a week, and we'd go in Friday night with 20 plays, 11 on 11 during the week. And we weren't, I would say, man, that's over 7 days. We ran 20 plays, 11 on 11. So anyways, I try to get 10 plays, 11 on 11 every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And that's before we even do our team period. So we definitely have 40 plays in, and we compete. It's a competition we do. But so we do offense every day, and then we do a team defensive day on like Wednesdays and Thursdays. But our competition on offense is always against 5 or 6 starters on defense. So yeah, we compete every day.
Awesome. Someone wants you to repeat those 5 offensive plays, and how did you come up with them?
Well, first of all, everybody has like any clinic you go to, you can make that offense sound like the best offense. For us and what we do, this has worked for us, but it's really easy. We run power, we run dive, and we run a toss. So power, dive, toss, and then we have a counter where everything's going this way, and we come back with this way, and then we run the jet, and that's it. We run a power. It's an off tackle, which is like a C-D gap play. Our dive is like an A-B gap play. We run a dive, which is kind of up the middle. So we got an inside play, an outside play, and then the toss is a real wide play. We're trying to get out as fast as we can on the perimeter. So we got a perimeter play. We got a C gap off tackle play power. We got an A-B. We got a dive. And then we run our counter. And then we just run a jet. And that's it. And we try to get really, really good at those 5 things. And the little guys, they can run all that stuff. They really don't really run the counter very well, because you got to pull, guard, tackle. So the little kids really don't run any pull plays. Maybe the 5th and 6th grade, but not. I mean, when I coach youth football, we never pulled anybody. So we ran power, dive, toss, jet, and that was pretty much it.
All right. Question is, how do you develop your coaching staff?
Well, I've had the same coaches since I got hired, over a decade ago. And if you treat them well, they won't leave you. So, my guys, I know they all have kids, and they can all leave. If their kid has a game, leave. We'll cover it. We got 5 coaches. We can go with 4. I don't want my guys to miss their kids' stuff. But how do I train them? We've been doing the same offense for 12 years, I guess. They've learned. We played lots of games, almost 200 games. So I think we all kind of grow together in our meetings over the weekends. But I guess I don't have to train them, because they've been with me for so long. If I had a new staff come in tomorrow, that would really stink. Then I would have to train them. And there's years and years and years of what we go through to get them on board. So I guess I'm glad I don't really have to train them.
Got it. Last question that we have is about kids and complaining about playing time. How do you handle that one? I know we talked about parents, but how do you handle when a player comes to you and say, Coach, I think I should be playing more. I would like to play more, etc.
I get that too. And I tell them, listen, because some kids, here's what I tell them. I say, listen, go to practice. Practice like a wild animal. Make it impossible for us not to play you. Because we rotate 18 guys in on defense. Like, we have a speed defense for 3rd and long. We have a short yardage defense for 3rd and 2. We got our normal defense. So we have bigs. We'll play 7 defensive backs on 3rd and 12. So we have like 18 starters on our defense. That's what we call it. And if you're not in the front 18, go to practice, compete like hell, and make it impossible for us not to use you, you know? And so that's what I tell them. You can complain, you can whine, or you can go to practice like a dog. You know what I mean? And just show us, man, this guy, he wants some reps. You know, that's all I tell them. And I tell them, like, these guys are, I'm honest with kids. This guy's ahead of you, and here's why. And you can go up against them in practice, and if you beat them, you can move ahead of them. You know, I don't care. Come to practice, make plays. I'll put you in there.
Nice, nice. And I have one, I guess, personal question. How long do you practice each day?
Well, in August, we go 8 to 11. And in school, we go 3 to 5. I want these kids home at 5:20, eating dinner with a family. I think family, sitting down and eating with your folks is very important. And the other thing is, what you do is simple. You don't have to be there all night. Like, you don't have to practice 25 plays. You know, like, what we do is simple, so we get our stuff done. We're efficient about it. We don't waste any time. I mean, I want to get home to my 4 kids. You know, so we're 3 to 5, and we're pretty much off the field at 5 every day. We don't film practice. We don't go in and watch it from 5 to 6:30 and get these kids home at 7. If we will film portions of practice, 10 play competitive portions, and we will watch that in lunch during school. We typically won't take time during practice to watch the film. We have a lunch period with the high school kids come in, and I know the youth coaches don't have that luxury. But we're not going to film all of practice. We'll film a 10-minute section and watch it in 10 minutes. I really don't want these kids burned out on football. I really want them to love every minute they're with us. So the longer you keep them, and if you're boring about the stuff you're talking to them about, and then I can sense it. Like, oh boy, today was a boring day. So the next day I'm bringing a wiffle ball back. I'm picking teams, and we're going to play wiffle ball. I mean, I want to get them to be excited about coming every day. And that's how you got guys that love it and want to be there. And I think success can breed success if they want to be around and they want to work hard.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Do you have any parting words or last comments?
Well, you asked about, I feel bad about how do you train your coaches? Because we do get new middle school coaches every once in a while, and I do have to train them. But all I do is sit down with them and go over those 5 plays, you know, and we put it on the board. I spend some time with them. I can go to youth practices and help them. But when your system's simple, it is easy to train them. So I tell them, I want you to run these 5 plays in these 3 formations. And that's it. And I lay it out and make it easy. And then defensively, I want you to line up like this. I want you to call it this. I just want the terminology the same when they come to 9th grade. So our defense is very, very basic and simple. Our offense is basic and simple. And we just, you know, so I do sit down and train them. But if you have 100 plays, it is really going to be more difficult to train new coaches. So if I could leave you with one thing, don't put in too many plays. I mean, just don't make it too hard, because if it's hard for me, and I've been coaching football for 23 years, it's hard for a kid who's coming out for the first year. So if I even have to think about it, they're spinning. They're spinning. So keep it simple and have fun. That's my 2 words of wisdom. Keep it short, simple, and have as much smile every day.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much, Tiger. Really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day. I know you had training with your guys this morning. Excited for the fall. See exactly what you guys do on the field. And for those who's watching, make sure you tune in tomorrow. We'll have Mike Kruger from USA Football to go through the entire football development model. He keeps it simple from an age-appropriate method as well. So tune in and make sure you tag us on Twitter and Facebook as well. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you very much, Tiger.